Hi, everybody. This is Henry and
Tyler.
and
Cameron.
and
Haley.
and this is a mini Talk It Up More with Kids because it's Thursday and we're going to do a really short, brief one about something that just came up today, and that is park. Now, I thought she said pork at first. I'm like, did anything momentous happen this week? And I thought she said pork, but she said park. I was like, what's park? And they told me that it's some kind of new test. What is park? Tell them.
It's math!
Wait, one person at a time. Yeah, Haley.
It's ELA and math. It's like MCAS, but it's harder and it has a shorter time.
So your timing is shorter than the MCAS.
And it's much harder.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it'd be easier because I'm in 5th grade and we get like a lot of like harder stories and there's much more. Like today I got one about molecules and it was really boring.
Molecules.
And the stories, I would at least like them to be more interesting if...
Yeah. So do you ever see the results of these tests?
Like 2 years later maybe. No.
Oh, really?
No, I got the
You
MCAS.
never see them?
Yes, you do. I got my MCAS
You do?
Grades. Well, we might not for park, but I got my MCAS grades like in the beginning of the year.
Now, do you feel that they are helpful to you?
The old grades?
Yeah. Or the old grade or these tests in general, the MCAS, the park.
The MCAS I thought was easy, but the park is just I hate it. Yeah. No, it's hard.
It's hard.
It's difficult.
With MCAS, we didn't have any times.
We didn't have any times to stop or anything. And
What does that mean? You weren't timed for the MCAS?
No, we weren't timed. We could do it all day if we wanted, and now we have like 90 minutes or 75 minutes.
For the same number of questions?
It's like 9:30
It's like
to 10.
3 stories. Each question, each story has like 5 questions. Well, for me anyway. Yeah. And each question has 2 parts.
Yeah.
And then there's a giant open response that you have to write about all of the stories. So I really don't like.
All right. Yeah. So do you feel as kids, right? You guys are in school, right? You usually do what you're told, and you know that testing and quizzes are part of an education, right? You get that part, right?
Yeah.
Are these tests different from other tests? And if so, why do you have to do these extra tests? I haven't had a kid in school for a long, long time, and it's very different now. Cameron, what do you think?
I don't know. I guess they want to quiz you and see how you do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's mathematics.
So why is it different than just a regular math test? Ty, what do you think?
Well, usually, like in MCAS, when we were doing math MCAS, there was no times. And we could take as long as we wanted, but with the park, it's like an hour that we have to do this big math test. So,
do they prepare you for them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They show you examples and they give it to you for homework.
Yeah. Okay. Haley?
Well, we are taking practice tests in math for the math park, and the practices are really hard, and we're doing 4th grade practices.
Wow.
And it's really hard, and I think, like, the math you get, like, a shorter time than you did on the math MCAS, and the math is really hard. Like, we're doing 4th grade, and it's hard for 4th graders, I think.
And you're in 4th?
I'm in 5th.
She's in 5th.
You're in 5th. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's right. Cameron?
So there's this other thing that I have to do in 3rd grade. It's called this 30 books. You have to do all 30 books.
You have to read 30 books in 3rd grade?
Yeah, for the whole year. And if you don't, you have to read over the summer. Sometimes you sometimes would, because my teacher is very strict. She gives you like 15 pages of homework. So
30 books in 3rd grade?
I didn't have to do
What are we doing to our children?
I don't think I've read 30 books in my life.
Yeah,
Look, I don't want, I'm not here to judge. I want to hear from your guys, from your perspective as kids in school, how you feel about all this testing and all this it sounds like massive amounts of homework. right? Is that a lot of
Oh,
stress? Like,
yeah.
how do you feel about, or are you cool with it? Is it enough? Is it good? Yeah, Haley.
Well, like you said, 30 books. Like would it be like giant chapter books or like little I can read books?
Yeah, little
Yeah,
golden
it would
books.
have to be like challenging usually books for you, but some
I've read
kids
Harry
that can't
Potter,
really
all of
read and
Harry
stuff. There's a
Potter.
kid that can't really read in my grade, so
Yeah.
he has to read small books like those books that have the circle, either one or
Right. So
two.
they make adjustments for kids because everyone's
Yeah.
at a different level.
And some kids have to go on Lexia and all that.
Right. So do you think these tests are good? Do you think they're good? I mean, do you
For-
appreciate
for
them,
your
or
Not
do you
really.
like the MCAS, the Park, and all the other tests that you have to do? Do you feel like it's too much, or do you feel like it's enough, or
Too
it's not
much.
enough?
For your education, it should be like sort of good, but in 5th grade, you have to take ELA Park, Math Park, and Science MCAS. And I am really bad at science.
So if you
I'm terrible
were
at math.
queens and king of the world,
Yay.
what would you do differently in terms of children's education the way it is today? How would you change it for the better if you think it needs to improve?
I don't think it
Cameron, no, you think it's good the way it is?
Good.
Yeah, that's good.
I think they should do like more writing than math, because like we have to do math till like 11, and
hmm
then we have like 30 minutes of writing and reading and stuff like that, and literacy,
hmm
and it's just like too much math.
It's way
And
too
we
much
have a
for
lot
you.
of park practices.
So you feel like it's cool just the way it is. Don't change a thing if you're king of the world.
Yeah, but it's 4th grade. 5th grade sounds harder.
Well, it's going to get progressively harder as you get older because you get smarter and you develop your maturity more,
He's smarter
right?
than me.
2 times.
Oh, what a good sister! That's nice. All right,
No,
so
I'm serious.
Haley, what would you change in education if you were queen of the world?
Well, for the ELA I just took, there's like 3 stories about really boring stuff, and I really didn't like it, and
Yeah.
the questions aren't that interesting. I would make there be like much more interesting stories so people would want to read.
Would
the
you say
stories.
that most of your peers feel the same way as you, that
Yeah,
they were
well,
boring,
we,
or
we all get
did some people like them?
we all got different tests,
Oh.
and some people got like gerbils, and it was
So the ones you got were boring to you,
the ones I got were really boring. It was
but
like,
other people got
yeah,
fun
it was
stories
like about,
that were better.
It was about like dog sledding. It was really confusing, and the other one was like about molecules and stuff,
Mhm.
and it was really boring.
Now, do you think that these things that you're learning right now are things that you will use in your teen and adult life?
Well,
No.
I like math, so
Yeah.
It's-
I'm terrible at it.
I hate ELA.
Do you like it though? If you were good at it, if you were better at it, do you think you would like it?
Yes.
Is it just because you struggle with it, Cameron?
No.
That you think you just like you do not like math ever at
Kids
all?
that are good at math, they're like, oh, I'm awesome at this. They keep bragging and bragging.
But you love it.
Really bad at math.
Numbers are really cool. Numbers are really amazing and
I
magical.
love math, but I'm terrible at it. That's in my teacher.
I love math, but I'm terrible at it. That is such a wise statement. It's good to recognize that about yourself. And don't you think it's good to go in with that attitude? Like, I really love this subject. I want to learn more about it,
Yeah,
but I'm not naturally good at it, so I want to get better. I want to
I
improve.
go into extra help
That's good.
sometimes,
That's
and but today we didn't have extra help because of the park. It's weird though. You should get extra help during park because park is tricky and stuff like that.
Well, I also think
Mhm.
Park is-
Yeah, go ahead.
Have
That's so
Um,
nice.
like I had an ELA park, and then like after the ELA park we had math, and then we went to lunch and stuff,
hmm
and after we went to lunch we went right back to ELA. Like we have a class ELA and a park ELA. After the park we had lunch and stuff and math, and then we went to ELA. And I think that if you're gonna have an ELA park the same day, you shouldn't have the class.
That the test was about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we just took a test
That's a
that's
good
really
point.
hard and boring, and we don't really want to go to ELA anymore, and
Yeah.
then we just have to go to ELA.
So you would change you would want the tests to be more individualized to your interests. right? That
Yeah,
they
well,
would.
everybody,
like-
everybody thought it was boring.
Really, everybody?
Yeah, well, everybody who got like the molecules and stuff.
Right, but if the test was designed for what you have a natural interest in, then you would be more apt to enjoy the
Yes,
test, right?
because I would
Because everyone has different tastes, right?
I
And
would
different
read it
strengths.
over and I would like the story
Mhm.
and it'd be interesting for me and I would like actually try to find like I would know the answers because I've read it over and I would really like it and acknowledge it.
Okay.
It'd be easier for me to answer the question.
Well, maybe somebody will take that into consideration. Ty and then Cameron.
Well, I had the ELA part today too,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a story about homes, like hobbit holes. Someone built a hobbit hole,
Uh-huh.
but then other people said they had really boring stories.
So,
they
yeah.
kind of.
It's kind of like a lottery. You never know what you're going to
Yeah.
get. And sometimes you might get a story that's really fun and interesting, and the other one might not be so interesting, right?
Hmm.
So what does that teach you about life?
You don't get what you
Yeah.
want.
You don't always get what you want,
So
right? But it's also, it's good to expand your knowledge so that you know a variety of subjects, like molecules. You may not go into...
It was disgusting.
You're made up of molecules.
It was disgusting too. It was like it's all over your teeth, and they might like eat you alive, and they eat your germs, and it was disgusting.
They might eat you alive.
brain. So
Cameron, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, the only bright side of Park is that after he gives you scrap paper, and if you don't really use it, you could just like draw pictures. And after they would give you like food, like they would give you snacks like pretzels, chips, or waters, candy, whatever.
Candy.
I have one thing to change. I would
Yes.
change. We have
And then,
for the times of Park. Like today, we had 90 minutes, so
Mhm.
an hour and a half, and I was finished in an hour. But
mm,
then when we were done, we had to sit there and
Mhm.
we couldn't read or we couldn't draw pictures.
you had to sit there for 30
We
whole
had-
minutes
yeah.
and just twiddle your thumbs
Yeah, me too. It was
and think about
really
your park
boring.
test. And
Yeah.
Like I read a boring story, and then I was like finished in like.
do you get a break in an hour and a half?
No.
Do you get to eat a snack before the park?
No, we do it after.
Wouldn't you want like brain food before, like to help
Yeah.
you think?
I don't know why they would just do it after.
Hmm.
We got snack
Their choice,
and
not mine.
You got snack before, Haley?
yeah, and
So you guys got snack after.
I got
it
snacks.
was really
Before.
boring.
Oh, okay.
And I
See,
just
so
had
it depends on the school.
I just had to sit there for like 30 minutes doing nothing, and it was. I hated it.
So it sounds like it's not the most horrible thing that you've ever experienced in your life.
No, it is. To me, it is.
It is?
Preschool was better. You'd get to do whatever
I
you
know.
want.
So if you had the chance to eliminate Park and MCAS from
I don't like
school,
Park.
what do you want to join the conversation? 'Cause
Nah, I didn't do park today.
you didn't.
Because
Black
We're talking about on Talk It Up. We're talking about the value of these tests and
I couldn't do it since I was taking my.
Who had Park
Uh.
today? We're late.
okay. Well, we have more people coming in. Get in on the conversation, kids. If you we've heard the whole
hi.
gamut that the park. Did you take park tests today?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. What do you think about them? Do you like them?
I think I'm gonna like it.
No, you won't.
All right, so
Yes,
some
I
people
will.
love them, some
You
people
won't.
hate them. It's just across the board.
No.
Even in the adult world, it's the same story. So it's good to get in on the conversation. Thanks, guys, for your input on Talk It Up More with Kids.
May I
And
ask
more
you a
is
question?
coming in next week. All right, we'll see you next week on Talk It Up More with Kids.